What's going on, everybody? It's Matt with American 4WD. Hope you're having an awesome day. Look who it is.
Hey guys, just a thoughts and prayers for the people down in South Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, South Georgia. Eyes open, be careful.
Absolutely, guys, be careful. And our hearts and prayers goes out to you guys. Lots of destruction right now. So, as far as us here, the weather has cooled down. It's not melting freaking hot, so that's kind of nice. And business kind of slowed down just a hair, which is super nice because we were actually getting overwhelmed. So, besides the guys that are just getting pounded by that hurricane, we're doing okay so far. So, let's start with a quick shop update, and we'll go from there, see where this takes us. So, let's start with one of our customers right here. This is a insurance claim. Customer hit somebody, and the front axle did not like that. So, as you can see, that front axle is supposed to be up here. It got shoved back, and got some things tore off of it and bent and stuff. So, gonna have his insurance adjusters come out here, take a look at it, appraise it, and see what's going on with that. So we got an XJ. We are wiring up the winch and doing a aftermarket header and fix some other exhaust leaks. So we'll be doing that. We've got Bodie ZJ back in the house. We're doing, as you can already see, we've already started it, doing rock sliders, front bumper, rear bumper, tire carrier, painting the hood vents, putting on these rubber rails. Hell yeah. So this thing's gonna look good. We've got Old Faithful here. I believe this is an 88 Wagoneer. She's had a rough life, but that's all right. We're gonna start and hasn't been driven very much. Parked under a tree for a lot of years. So we're actually gonna get this thing we're gonna get this running. Then I'm assuming it's not gonna run great. So once we get it running, we're gonna get it running better. And do brakes and stuff, and a whole bunch of maintenance stuff on it, just to get this guy back on the road. And then I guess he's going to deal with that when it's actually running, driving, moving, all that fun jazz. So really cool to see people still have an interest in these and take care of them, and you know, will be willing to throw some money at them. So these are really cool. Got a weird diagnosis. Let's see what else we got. We got Dexter in the house. We have to do he got a new grill. He took off the grumper, so he's got a new grill, new front bumper, all that fun jazz, worn winch. So we're going to be doing a rear drive shaft and something else, I don't remember. But Jimmy's all taken care of. We did a whole bunch of maintenance stuff to this, so she's looking much better. Our friends over at Hudlows did some drive shaft work for us. So got the drive shafts all cleaned up and nice. We did a bunch of steering stuff. As you can see, new tie rod ends, blah blah blah, adjusters and everything. So this guy's done. He's good to go. All right, let's take a look inside. Chris is having a fun time. He's working on a customer's JK. Came in because it wouldn't move. You put it in gear and it wouldn't do anything. And he thought he blew up the transmission. Well, we took a look at it and found out that the sun smoked the clutch. So this is the clutch out of it. We've already put a new one in there, but you can see the pressure plate. It has a giant groove in there, and this is one side, and this is, you know, more or less normal for a burnt up clutch, but that is not normal. He smoked this thing, like beyond smoked it. So this thing was fried. So got a clutch in there, rock and roll. almost done with that. Got a Lexus LX 470 in the house. We're doing a lift kit. We're removing all the weird stock suspension stuff. We're just going to a regular coil spring and shock setup. As of right now, we're doing diff seals, or the diff cover reseal. So we had to take this front axle. Of course, this is independent front suspension, so we had to remove the bottom and the subframe and everything so we can drop the axle down so we can take the cover off and reseal it. New fluid, and same thing on the rear. We've already taken out the center section and sucked out all the nasty fluid, put it all back together, resealed it, rock and roll. And the rear is already done with the lift kit from Iron Man 4x4. So new shocks, new springs, all that fun jazz. Don't mind the mess. We're working hard. It's hard to find time to clean up when you're going 90 to nothing. So anywho, got him going. So the rear's done. Pretty much we just got the front to do. So once he reseals the front can go back together, and then we'll be able to put the new shocks and torsion bars. Those are the old ones. The new ones are in the box, but new torsion bars and stuff in there, and rock and roll. Anywho, we got Vince's XJ in the house. It was running just a wee bit rough, so we took a look into that and found out that the camshaft synchronizer was not having a good day. Pretty much the bearings inside here were trashed, allowing this guy to just wiggle around, start tearing stuff up. So we gave it a new camshaft synchronizer. Rock and roll. We also did a rear hatch latch. So of course, remember guys, this is the one that got rolled over. So we went to the junkyard, found this hatch off of another Cherokee. So cool, swapping that in. So we changed out the handle so that way you could use it as a key. And I'm still working on this door. This door got smushed pretty good, right? So the window wouldn't go up and down. Well, the problem is that the track where the window comes up, it rides in this track, and the track got smushed right there. So that's gonna be fun. Anywho, got that figured out. What else we got going on here? We got another XJ back here. It's like freaking XJ day. Customer brought in noise in the motor, no brakes, some other stuff. So we're gonna be screw-ulating with that here in a little bit. And then I guess we'll do a Comanche update. It's hard to find time to work on this thing, guys, when you own your own business and you're trying to deal with stuff and everything else. So trying to find time is just, it's horrible. But when I do have time, a lot of things get done pretty quick. So update, probably, I don't even remember the last update of what it had and what it didn't have, but I know it didn't have the front bumper. So we got most of our armor in from Dirtbound Off-Road. Thank you guys. Took a little bit longer, but hey, everything is rough right now, so no judgment here. But we got a new front bumper with a recessed winch. So the bumper actually poked out probably about this far out from the front grill, so two inches. And so this winch, the worn winch, was just barely touching the grill. But the bad thing is this front bumper poked out and it kind of looked like Bubba's lip. I just didn't like it. It wasn't a good approach angle, and I just felt like I was going to get smacked on everything. So what I did is I recessed the winch in about 2 inches and then cut the grill around the winch and cut this little pocket out so you can get to the port to control the thing. It's a little tight, but I didn't want to cut too much out of it. I just didn't feel it. But anywho, so I cut that out. We're going to get all that trimmed up, make it look a lot nicer than what it is right now. This is just mock-up. That way we can start doing paint and body. But I like that. It's nice and recessed. It still has about 5 or 6 inches poking out. But as far as a approach angle, that's pretty good for an XJ-ish, Comanche, whatever you want to call it. Anywho, so we did that. We got the dirt-bound armor front and back. We did all the fender trimming, so all the fenders got trimmed out, so that way the 37s can stuff up in there. I finished up, let me get this kind of out of the way. I finished up the frame stiffeners, so the frame stiffener stops right there. The frame stiffener goes all the way to the two other frame stiffeners. So you got one here that goes down, and then you have another one that goes in the middle, and then this one starts from there and goes all the way up to here. So we did that, got that in there, got that looking pretty good. It's tight, but we got it. So now I'm dealing with a rock slider situation. That's just a whole different ball game. I can't get this door to stay. Anyways, you guys can see it. But anywho, as of right now, we're trying to deal with the rock slide situation. So these rock sliders came when I bought the truck. They're very old, they're very beat up, and they were built to where you could have like an exo cage kind of built into it on the front and the back. I'm not doing that, so I cut them off, cut off the front one, trimmed it down. I think I'm going to cut off a little bit more of it, so I think I'm going to cut these two tubes out of it, and probably, I don't know, I'll probably keep that one and that one, but I'll cut this tube out of it. It's kind of overkill, and it's really, really heavy, so probably do that. I started mocking up plates to attach it to the frame, so let me get down here. So mocked up plates. There is a curve. That's where the frame curves in right there. So I have to curve that plate. It's a big pain in the butt. But we're going to drill some holes, 4 holes, attach it, and attach it. There's 3 attachment points for the slider on the frame rails. So this will be strong and everything else. We finally got brakes. So first thing is we've got calipers with pads and everything else. That was just a huge debacle. New extended brake lines, and like I said, the caliper and everything, that was just a huge debacle, because again, you can't get anything for Gladiator axles right now. Hell, you can barely get anything for JL axles. So it was just a big mess. We had to kind of Frankenstein it a little bit, but we got calipers, brake lines, so the front's pretty much done. The rear, we got calipers, brake pads, all that fun jazz. We had to get some different rotors. Like I said, we had to Frankenstein it to kind of make it work. So, but it's working. So what we're gonna do is, that caliper's behind that bag. Anyways, we're gonna have to make a custom brake line from here all the way over to probably here, and then, to right there. And then that brake line we're going to make to here. We're going to connect them together and then go one brake line up to the master. Speaking of the master, we've got a new brake booster and master cylinder because the old ones were kind of just trashed. Oh, be useful if I got the hook. Anyways, so we got a new master. We have a new brake booster. We had to get those 2 brake lines sitting on top of the master at the junkyard. That was a debacle. This proportioning valve, the way this truck's rear brakes worked, we're probably going to have to use the old proportioning valve off of a newer XJ. So this guy, it looks kind of crappy, and these brake lines do not come off. We had to cut them off, so that's going to be fun. If they come off, cool, we'll use it. If they don't, we'll just get a new proportioning valve. Rock and roll. Let's see, we also got the side armor on. We got the vents on better. So everything has been nut-certed on the armor and on the top. That was a big debacle. So we got everything nut-certed. That way it comes off real easy. Anywho, and then of course we have the slider on this side, so you can see where I have to cut this one off, and I have to cut that at the top and then grind it down flush to match the other one. Like somebody had an exo cage go into this thing, so all that stuff's coming out. Junkyard 231 in the house. So that's going to be our transfer case. If anybody was wondering what we're going to be doing with that, it is a 231J. It's already got a slip yoke on it, but we're probably just going to disassemble this guy, and we have to get an adapter to go to the 4L80 and all sorts of fun stuff. Plus, I want to rebuild everything in there, make it nice and strong and new and happy. Blah, blah, blah. Anywho, we have the rear bumper. I just gave it a rattle can spray paint for now. That way, if we have to put the truck outside, it's not going to rust or anything else. So the rear bumper, and we have the hitch. It bolted up beautifully in mock-up, so we took it off, just put one coat of spray paint on it, and that way it's good to go. But these are the brackets for it. But rock and roll. So if you can tell, we've got a lot of stuff circled on the body. All right, so these are all dents. I don't even know where the next one. Oh, it's in the corner. I think that's it for this side. It's just the bed side. But anywho, we've got some stuff marked out on the tailgate. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. We got this giant one. That's gonna be a bear. But we just got some stuff marked off because one, this truck doesn't have a motor yet, so that's a problem. But number two is, well, I'm poor, so it was going to go down to paint and body and have it just all professionally done. Well, because of the amount of work this thing needs is going to be astronomical amount of money to be able to do that. So I cannot afford that because V8 swap takes most of your money. Anywho, so what we're going to try to do is do this ourselves as best and as professionally as we can. Nobody here is paint or body guy. I know enough to try. I've never done anything to this scale. So I got a buddy of mine who used to be a painter, used to do body work. He's going to come down here and help us out. And we're going to attempt to do all the body work here, right here in this bay. All the body work, all the pulling, all the dents out, all the things aligned, because the doors need to be aligned and things like that, because the gaps and stuff aren't matching, and the fenders need to be put in the correct spot, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do all that here, and then we are going to Raptor coat it. So, I know Raptor coat. Well, here's my thing about that. I'm not a fan of a textured paint job. It is not necessarily my greatest friend. So what we're going to try to do is, we got the professional paint gun from Raptor, and that way we can kind of change its texture. So we can make it really thick or make it really light. And that's what I'm hoping for. I've never Raptor lined, so anybody who has Raptor lined, any sort of advice, throw it at me. But we got 2 kits of Raptor liner and the professional gun. So this is what I'm talking about. But as far as the how thick we can do it, apparently you can change how thick you go with the nozzle. So we're going to try to stay as very fine as possible, the finest as humanly possible. We picked out a color, so hope everybody likes it. We got the navy blue. We were going to mix up our own stuff, but I was like, well, this is all right. I like that. So navy blue for the truck in that texture. Hopefully Raptor line this freaking thing and make sure it's decently good to go. But anywho, everything else on the bottom is pretty much done besides the 2 brake lines. Oh yeah, we also got the overkill. It's sitting on top of the cross member. It's right there. The overkill mount adapter for the 4L80 to a Cherokee or XJ, whatever, Comanche cross member, so that way we can mount the transmission. Anti-rock, all that fun jazz. But yeah, so she's coming a long way. Like I said, as of right now, we're into the little things that just take a ton of time, trying to figure out what bolts we can put on it. Every single bolt on this thing is brand new, guys. Every single bolt. So we have to find it, we have to figure it out, we have to mock it up, shift it, put it in position, take it back off, paint it, put it back on 900 times just to make sure this is... We're not going for a show build. I do not build show vehicles, but we're going to attempt to get it as nice as we can and still be on a budget. But anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and any questions, comments, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz. Guys, we will see you later.